Although today we all work for wages, that is, somebody pays us in cash, this was a profoundly unnatural set of relationships in the early 19th century in America. As we said before, most of the economy until 1800 was still barter-based in the sense of transactions between people based predominantly on credit and debt. Remember those squirrel scalps? This kind of economy was not really about wage work. It was about a series of independent producers, whether you were a shoe cobbler or a farmer or any other kind of skilled worker that in the 19th century were called mechanics, even though obviously they didn't work on cars. This kind of economy, this economy based on producers, or what today we might see as small businesses, was not the same as wage work. In wage work, like you had in the first factories, you were paid. You were paid in cash. You didn't actually own your own tools. You didn't actually decide how you were going to work. You worked for somebody else. And though this is the normal state of affairs today in our economy, it was profoundly novel within the early 19th century. Today we might want a really high salary or just at least a high wage per hour. But in the 19th century, being paid by somebody else rather than selling them the product of your labor was seen as a dependent relationship rather than independent. People marked themselves more by what they did than what they could buy with their wages. After all, the purpose of these wages was to participate in the consumer economy, whether that was buying land or buying new kinds of fabric, buying all kinds of new things produced by these factories themselves that became cheaper than making your own cloth at home. This kind of dependence undermined a lot of what people valued about themselves as part of independent, democratic Americans. The very notion of the wage was, in some sense, antithetical to that of virtuous, independent citizens. You can see it even in the political process. All those requirements of land ownership in order to vote were really about the idea that if you didn't own land, if you weren't an independent farmer or in some sense producer, then somebody else, your boss, could tell you how to vote.